for the crucial conference of Big Four foreign ministers, Francis Bidot visits the town hall for an ancient ritual, signing the Golden Book. At the parley, first since 1949, German unification and an Austrian peace treaty are the thorniest problems. Secretary of State Dulles, presiding at the early meetings, urges Russia's Molotov to abandon Soviet obstructionist techniques and work with the West in securing a just and humble peace. Britain's Eden, who follows Dulles in signing the register, warns Russia that the West insists upon free elections before German unification. Amid tension and strife, men of state meet in momentous sessions in Berlin.
Amid the smoke of their burning compounds and under the eyes of Allied military officers, the first batch of anti-communist POWs takes the road to freedom. Trucks speed the prisoners, some of whom have spent 3 years behind barbed wire, past friendly UN soldiers and Generals Hull and Taylor. Singing and chanting, long lines of POWs march 2 miles from their deserted stockades to Allied receiving centers. Smoothly and methodically, in 16 hours, 14,000 Chinese and 7,500 North Koreans complete Operation Comeback. Quickly, trucks carry the red-hating POWs to Seoul, where crowds give them a hero's welcome. By American Army boxcars, the freed North Koreans arrive on their way to a South Korean Army processing center, many of them to enlist. At the port of Incheon, the Chinese POWs board U.S. Navy landing ships for Formosa on the last lap of their historic journey to freedom. There, as members of Chiang Kai-shek's army, they may return someday to reclaim their homeland from red tyranny on which they turned their backs.
At Bolivar Mountain in Venezuela, big-scale mining operations get underway to dig the world's largest known iron deposits. Dynamite charges are fused. Here's the firing signal. Tons of ore freed by the blast are loaded aboard trucks starting a long journey to the United States. A specially built railroad then carries it to a port where a rotary dumper turns the heavy car upside down to empty it. By high-speed conveyor belt, capable of handling 6,000 tons an hour, the ore is rushed aboard ship. A $105 million mine in Venezuela contributes to the vital United States steel reserve.
Here's the newest and perhaps the oddest-looking plane flying. Instead of wings, it has these stubs called lateral control flaps, used during landings and takeoffs. The rest of the time, the plane relies on its own specially designed fuselage. Inventor Bill Horton calls his plane the Horton Wingless and claims huge models could carry 4,000 passengers. As a starter, he's riding alone. Wingless takes to the air after a run of only a few hundred feet. Horton says the vertical fins on the edge of the fuselage increase lift and operating efficiency. Someday, perhaps even birds will be saying, "Look, Ma, no wings." Queen Elizabeth and the Duke of Edinburgh attend a royal garden party in Wellington, New Zealand, with hundreds of Her Majesty's subjects. Royal etiquette demands a graceful curtsy for the Queen as she mingles with her people. Social events over, the Queen and Philip arrive at Parliament House, where Elizabeth becomes the first reigning British monarch to open a session of the New Zealand Parliament. Pomp and splendor mark the Queen's entry as she approaches the golden carpeted dais. Wearing her coronation robe, the Kingfisher blue ribbon, and the Star of the Order of the Garter, Queen Elizabeth II solemnly declares Parliament in session.
Britain adopts a new high-speed Army rifle capable of 700 rounds a minute. The new rifle, Wright, is about 7.5% heavier, but the Army likes it because it's easy to operate, can be taken apart in a hurry, and has a simple mechanism. The British turned down the Garand-designed rifle used by American soldiers to adopt this Belgian-designed model called the FN, a new weapon for Private Tommy Atkins.
Crowds stream toward the Maruyama Stadium in Sapporo, Japan, where skaters from 6 nations, including Russia, are competing in the 1954 World's Championships. Racing in pairs, the skaters are clocked in races of 500, 1,500, 5,000, and 10,000 meters. The winner is determined by the lowest time total. Here, Japan's Takabayashi flashes home the winner in a 500-meter event. The crowd of 20,000 sees Russia's Oleg Koncharenko, who places second in a surprising 1-2-3 Soviet sweep of the championships, duel against Sweden's Speedy Strame. Pouring on the pressure, the slick skating Russian streaks across first. White-capped Hjalmar Andersen of Norway, who came out of retirement in an attempt to crack the Russian supremacy, battles Japan's Asasaka. Fighting off Olympic champion Andersen, Asasaka wins by a whisker in the Soviet-dominated championships.